Querido Papa Francisco is going to be presented. Today, Paul Schneider is with us. He is a priest in San Carlos Borromeo parish. You will wonder why we want to share with Paul this book presentation. Everything started when a primary student showed her curiosity by writing a question to her teacher, to which he didn't find any answer. Better said, he considered that the right person to answer this question should be an adult capable of giving an answer with his experience. Therefore, and for his friendship with most of you here, we contacted him, and he was pleased to help us since the very first moment. Now, my maid will tell you about Paul's life so that you can get to know him better.
Paul Schneider was born in 1983 in Roxford, Illinois. He was the fourth child and he has 3 sisters older than him. When he was 6, his family moved to Spain and he grew up to Spanish schools. He wanted to be a mechanical engineer. At age 17, however, he received the call of God to totally devote himself to share the love of Christ. He entered the seminary of Getafe and was ordained priest in 2007. He has previously served in a parish of Getafe and currently works in Villanueva de la Cañada. He enjoys sharing the gospel and his experience of the Lord among people of all ages. In Villanueva de la Cañada, there are many children and young families, which makes the parish a loud and lovely community. It's question time now. Paul, are you ready to answer these questions?
Yes. First, I would like to say that I'm very happy to be here with you this morning. I love children. I love you. I love the school too. It's a great school. I also thank Jesus Ángel for his invitation, and yeah, it's wonderful to be here with you. So go ahead with the questions.
Dear Paul, I don't believe in God, so how can you show that God exists?
Thank you for this question. What is your name, please? Hugo. Hugo has posed an important question because many people don't believe in God, and you should never put pressure, like you should believe this because I think it, so you should think it too. It doesn't go that way. It's more like sharing an experience that you have had. To somebody that doesn't believe in God, because I sometimes think I'm a priest, and I'm Catholic, and I teach the faith to other people, but sometimes I also wonder, what if God does not exist? So, my way to God every day is through beauty. There are many ways to get to God. Some people get to God through pleasure, others through suffering, others through a very strong experience. And I like the path of beauty. The beauty of a mountain, the beauty of a picture. Whenever you see something beautiful, you can say, oh, it's just there. Things can be beautiful or not. But sometimes you wonder, you think, if this is so beautiful, where is the artist behind it? The mountains, nature. Who made all this? Who made these wonderful things that when I see them, I feel overwhelmed, I feel almost like confused. Where does this come from? Is there an author to all these things? So it's not easy to believe in God. It's not easy. It's not evident. You have to open up questions in your mind in order to believe in God.
Next question. Dear Paul, you have any girlfriend when you were young?
Thank you, Eduardo, for your question. Officially, not. When I was 13, I kissed a girl, and she said we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was not serious at all. It was just like a play thing of school. But my entering in the church in a Catholic community, it all started because I fell in love when I was 15 with a 15-year-old girl. Her name was Ula. She lives in Poland. She's Polish. And so I fell in love with her. I also liked her twin sister. I have to say that too. But I was in love with her. So, like, I had gone to a religious school when I was little, but I didn't like everything of religion. So I would just go to Mass on Sundays. And so knowing this girl and wanting to be in contact with her moved me to join a group of young people in the church. So in order to see her, to contact her, I started writing her a lot, and she would write back often. She was like so I never had a girlfriend, but women have been important for me even in my path to faith and in my path to be a priest.
Why there's so many people that suffer or make the others suffer?
Thank you. Your name is Marta? Marta. Thank you for your question too. Before I answer your question, Jesus Ángel told me a few weeks ago, he said, it's so healthy to ask questions, and it's always good that even if you don't know the answer, you continue to search, and you can always find people in your life. This is so important. You can always find people in your life that will help you answer questions you have, because we all, without exception, we all have questions in our heart, in our brains. So answering to your question, Marta, it's a mystery why there is suffering in the world. It's hard to explain, because we would say, if God is good, why does He allow suffering in the world? You know, I'm in love with all the popes that we've had recently. Pope Francis, he has the heart of a child. He's so great. Pope Benedict, he's been like my teacher, my professor. Pope John Paul, he's the Pope of my youth, of when I was little. When I was your age, my Pope, the Pope of the time was John Paul II, St. John Paul II. So when they asked once Pope Benedict, a child asked him, Pope Benedict, why did so many children have to die in that tsunami that killed so many people, and so many innocent children died? I don't understand it. And you know what the Pope Benedict answered? He said, I don't understand it either. So suffering is a great mystery. When we say that God is good, we don't mean that He always gives us pleasant things, like candy and enjoyable things. We say that God is good because He has suffered like one of us. He knows our experience. He had your age. He was tired sometimes. He was bored sometimes. He had friends. He enjoyed friendship. And he also suffered abandonment from his friends. And he died on a cross. So we don't know why God doesn't solve suffering in the world like this, which He could do in theory, but He is with us. He is our partner in life. I would say that's That's God's answer. It's not like solving problems like this, boom, like it with a wonder stick. Is that how you call it? A Harry Potter stick? How do you call it? Wonder stick? I don't know. You know, the stick, the little stick to do the wand. Thank you. God could do it like that, boom, and it's all solved. Instead of that, He entered our history, our real life, and He became one of us. And He knows by personal experience, by His own suffering, what it is to be like one of us. So I would say that's God. And why do some people make others suffer? I don't know. I think that people that do a lot of harm to others is because they've not received enough love. I have that answer. People who do who hate others, who insult, who are violent, it's because very often they have many wounds in their history, and they have not received enough love. People who have been loved a lot, I'm sure like all of you or most of you, are able to love and give others because you have received. That's it.
Why not all the people is from the same religion?
Thank you, Pepe. Would anybody like to answer that question or say something before me? Yes?
Because we are free.
Because we are free? That's a very, yeah. That's it.
Why not understand
Other people have the choice of believing it. And there are many options. What will there be later? Yes, God doesn't answer.
Because some people don't think that God don't think that God exists, and they believe in the God or in something that it's more like they like more.
They follow their choices.
Because people doesn't like all the same things. They want to.
I would start through there. You know, human beings, we like variety. And we like things done differently and with different words to express ourselves. If there are many languages in the world, there's a great variety of races, of languages, of customs. So there's a great variety in the world. I wouldn't say, pay attention to this. I wouldn't say our religion is the truth and the rest of them are false. I would say, in any case, there are different degrees of truth. There are different elements of truth, I would say, in all religions. Just that maybe ones are closer to the truth than others. And speaking with someone of a different religion, I would tell them, it's not either your truth or my truth, it's the truth. And together, we will walk towards it. Understand?
Yes.
It's a Spanish poet who said this, Antonio Machado. It's not your truth or my truth. It's the truth. And together, talking and sharing, we can go towards it. Jesus did say, I am the way, the truth, and the light. But you got to experience it for yourself. You have to get to know Jesus to be able to say, Jesus is the truth. Not that. I know the truth and I'm in possession of the truth, is I can signal with my finger, I can signal, hey, that's the truth. But it's not against other people. Everybody, all people in the world are somehow religious, even people who say that they're atheists. Religion is that you continue to ask questions inside of you, that you continually let those questions come out, and they come out, and they come out. That's how the human being is. All human beings, even atheists or agnostics, we are all religious. We're continually looking for the last questions. What's my life for? Where did I come from? Is there anything after death? Will I find beauty and love in my life? That's religion. So Christians say, hey, there's nothing better than Jesus. And if you can show me something better than Jesus, I will follow it. If you give me anything better than Jesus, I will go after it. But go ahead, show me something better than Jesus. I would say that's the way of discussing of a Christian. Any more questions? Yes?
Why
Just a second.
Why God created us?
You know, I don't. I should ask my bishop that question because it's a hard one. I don't have all the answers, you know. But why did God create us? I don't know. There's something that has to do with love. Like, I would say it's a similar question. Why did my parents have me? It's also a difficult question. Because you could be not existing, and however you are existing. Why did I come to being? Why did God make me? Why did God create us? I don't know. The typical question in the church, the typical answer would be because He loves us. But I think that's a typical question that each person should find their own answer. It would be different answers, each person of us. Why did He create me? I'm sure He created us for a purpose, for a mission, for a vocation, to do a work on this earth. If you have eyes and ears and hands, you should put them to work. That's for sure. Why did He create us? So we would work the earth where He put us on. But it's not all work. It's also hugging and listening and suffering and many things.
How do you see that God give you the vocation to be a priest?
Thank you, Clotilde, or Chloe. Is that how you call her? Chloe? Well, as Martin read, my intention was to be a mechanical engineer. I wanted to, when I was 17, my goal was to leave my house and go to study to the United States and do mechanical engineering. But when I was 17, I had been knowing many Christians and young people, but when I was 17, I was praying alone in my room at home. There was nobody else at home. And I heard a very clear voice inside of me, in my mind or in my heart, of God. I mean, it could be a voice, or it could, you know, some people say, what if it was your imagination? Well, I imagine many things, but that wasn't like my imagination. And this voice of God, with a lot of love, he told me, Paul, I want you to dedicate the rest of your life to serve me and men, your brothers. So I was shocked. You know, I had been in love with that girl. I had my plans of forming a family. I wanted to form a family. That was my, I don't know, my deep desire. But this was so something so complete for me that I said, I mean, this is beautiful. I have to answer with this. Before that, I didn't like priests too much. I was like, oh, priests are boring, always telling me what to do, you know? But I discovered that, so I started to talk with a priest, and I said, hey, this has happened to me, what should I do now? And he said, okay, keep it like a treasure in your heart. Don't start telling everyone, hey, look what happened, look what happened. Just don't, wait for that. There will be time to tell others, but treasure it like something very precious. Keep it in your heart. And after days and weeks after weeks, talk with God about it and continue to ask Him, is this really what you want from me? And so I did that, and a few months later, that was in December that I felt the voice of God, like the strongest thing that has ever happened to me. And months later, in September of the following year, I entered the seminary, and I started my journey.
Why do you love people?
Jesus says many things about this. Jesus says, love your neighbor, love your enemies, love God above all things. I love people with a love that is greater than my love and beyond my capacity of loving. I feel very fortunate because when I love people and I go to houses, to homes, I visit families, I have friends, I have old and sick people whom I visit to. And I love people because God pushes me. That's my experience, and that's how I would say it. I feel that, every morning, I also feel, like any of you, I feel tired, I feel sometimes drowsy. Sometimes, like when you wake up in the morning, do any of you have a brother or sister that when he wakes up in the morning, he doesn't want to talk with anyone? Like for a couple of hours, like, hey, he's grumpy, or he's... well, that happens to me too. Like, my first hour or two in the morning, I don't want to talk with anyone. I don't want to, just be alone eating my cereal. But I've received this mission from God, and for me, loving others, it's not just a question of following God's orders. He told me to love, so I have to love. I also enjoy doing it, and sometimes, even though I don't feel too much like doing it, like visiting an old person, which always repeats the same things, but I say, hey, God has given me this mission, so that old lady or that old man, he's like my grandpa or my grandma. I have a new family of the faith, and that person is like my family, and I will also grow and learn more of life, being and loving with that person. So loving people, sometimes I enjoy it more, sometimes less, but it makes me more like Jesus. And that's why I love people. It helps me grow. I'm already grown up. I've even lost some hair up here. I'm not as beautiful as when I was little. But But you can grow inside of you. You can grow in your love in your heart continually. You can also shrink. You know what shrinking is? What's when something shrinks? Like it gets smaller. Instead of growing, you shrink. So you can also shrink in life if you become too selfish. Well, I like to love others because it makes me grow all the time. That's it.
What is the sense of the life?
Thank you for your question. What's your name, please? Andres, that's your name, right? Thank you, Andres. What is the sense of life? What's the... You know, in life, you can go through life with a purpose or without a purpose, with sense or without sense. Some people say, okay, what's the sense of life? Most people that I know in the world, or I mean in Spain and the West, they say, oh, what is life? You know, you go to school, then you get a job, then you get married, then you have children, then you have to pay bills, then you retire, and then you die. And that's it. And some people say, what's the sense? That question of Andres, some people will say those 5 things. You go to school, you get a job, you pay your bills, you get married, you have children, you get retired, and you die. Sense of life, I think that if our brain works and has the need for a sense in life, there has to be a sense of life. It's not it's like, why did God create us? The purpose or the sense of life. Each person has to discover it himself. You know, imagine a man that has not known anyone and he just came to existence being an adult, and he appears in an island. This is a question, a quiz. Let's see who knows what to answer. He appears in an island and he's thirsty. And he has never seen water. But can he know that water exists even though he has never seen water or tasted water? What do you think? Like, what do you think? I think if he feels the need for water, water has to exist. If we have the need for sense to life has to exist. And we can't produce it ourselves. It has to be somewhere outside of us too. What's the sense of life? Anybody has an answer for this very difficult question? Anybody wants to answer it? What's the sense of life?
That everyone has his own definition for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. There's not an only way. What's your name? Adriana. Yeah? That's true. What's the sense of life? If there's one question I would like each of you to go home with in your mind, what's the sense of life? Take that question in your mind. What's the sense of life?
Why are so many wars in the world?
Well, the first immediate question would be because of money and of greed. Because, like, why is there war in the Arab Gulf? Why is there war in the Arab countries? Why do you think? What natural resource do they have? In what are they very rich? In Iraq or Saudi Arabia or Kuwait? What do they have there that is important for cars and trucks and planes? They have petroleum. So there are many wars there because people, other countries want money and petroleum and they want control. I would even say more that people, when they have a great greed, you know what greed is? What is greed? Like when you want a lot of money, you want to get a lot of money together. People have that because they are afraid of dying. Have you ever thought this? People want to collect a lot of money, and the spiritual reason behind that is that they are afraid of dying, afraid of suffering, afraid of poverty. So when you are afraid of life and you need to have control and you need to collect a lot of money, you will even start a war and kill people. That's why there are wars. Because people are not able to share, to trust others. There's like something broken in each human heart. And yet, wars are so terrible. But they start, I think nowadays, maybe a politician would give another answer. I'm not an expert on this issue. I would say that it's because of money.
How we know that the heaven exists?
Thank you. Is it Carlos? Carlos. I've never been to heaven, and neither of you, and neither of the living people, the people who are alive. I, as a Christian, I believe that heaven exists because Jesus, God has promised it, that He has prepared a party, a feast, a banquet, a wedding feast, a hall of music, beauty, and joy, and perfection. And, how do we know heaven exists? Because of the Word of God, because of the Bible, and because God has created us with certain desires of justice and beauty and truth. So we hope, human heart continues to hope that will happen. And I suggest you to imagine what would heaven be for you. Imagine heaven not in a boring way, like clouds and angels and Philadelphia cheese to spread on the toast. Imagine heaven as something really, really cool, like being with the people you like and singing, or I don't know, whatever you love to do. That's like heaven. I like to imagine heaven doing sports, for example, where you can run a lot, you never get tired, you can run to the other side of the earth, in just 2 minutes on your own. You can fly, or just like this life, and with all the video games that you like. Imagine, I don't know, and without crying, and without death, and without sicknesses. It's cool to imagine heaven, and it's free. You don't have to pay for that.
Why is the cross an important signal if God has died there?
Okay, the cross where Jesus died, let's see, it's an important sign or signal. It's an important image for us. It's beautiful but it's not like, oh, how cute, you know what cute is, like, oh, when in the TVs, it's, oh, it's not that. It's beautiful, but it's a lot of suffering involved. It's like when your mother gave you birth. In labor, your mother, she suffered an extreme pain in her body, and it was very painful. It was a physical and human suffering. But the result of that is you, something beautiful. So the cross is something like that. It's beautiful because it gives life. Nevertheless, it's very painful.
It's true that Jesus walked on the water.
Thanks, Eduardo asked, is it true that Jesus walked on water? I would say yes. I wasn't there to see it, but something marvelous had to happen when the disciples were amazed and they said, whoa, I've never seen this before. The apostles in the gospel, it says that they had this constant reaction, whoa, who is this man? How can he do that? How does he have this much power? How can he heal? He can heal people, he can drive out demons. So Jesus, he would cure people, and he also had a certain and powerful dominion over nature. Did he walk on water like to say, hey, look how cool I am, I'm doing magic tricks? I don't know, I don't think it would be to show off. You know what is show off? What is to show off?
To show everyone that you're the best and the greatest.
That is to show off. Jesus didn't he didn't do it to say, look how cool I am. He did it to express that he has power over death and over nature. Like water, many people sink in water and they die, drowned. So Jesus said, I am above death. And I don't know how it happened exactly, if they were close to the shore, if maybe Jesus tiptoed on the rocks that were close so it looked like... I think it was a miracle, but what are miracles? Miracles are not magic tricks. You should all children understand this. The miracles and signs of Jesus were not magic tricks. They were expressions of the power and love of God, which acts in nature every day. And like, for example, Eduardo, when Jesus said, cast the nets to this side of the boat, and they had never fished anything in all that night, and suddenly the nets of fish was full, you could always say in a miracle, oh, maybe it was coincidence. You can always say that in miracles. Oh, maybe coincidence. Maybe it just happened that way. Maybe he was just lucky. But man, all the time with this person, with Jesus, special things happen. That's how we should understand the walking on the water. Always, special things happen when Jesus is around. At least the apostles explain it that way.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you so much for being with us today. Most of us were friends of you before, but from now on you've become a good friend of the whole school, okay? So thanks for coming.